If this is your first time on my channel, welcome Red Heart. I try to give you really good content every day. If you like it, subscribe now, so I know you're on my side. Pipper Middleton married into extreme wealth, total privacy, and a life designed to disappear from public view. From the outside, it appears controlled and like a fairy tale. But if you examine her and her husband actually live, where they live, and the choices that destroyed their world, a question starts to form about whether a life built on compromise instead of love can really last forever. Learn why people are convinced in this video. Pipper Middleton's marriage won't last. Not famous Pippa Middleton married. She married discreetly. From the outside, the marriage looked like a natural progression. The younger sister of a future queen, settling into wealth, stability, and discretion. Her life was less glamorous than expected. Structured and isolated, it avoided public attention. And that choice alone explains why people now question whether this marriage can endure. James Matthews comes from a specific world. Old European money that is not obvious. Hedge fund wealth that values privacy more than prestige. Edenrock Capital Management was founded by his father on a philosophy of discretion. This philosophy went beyond business. It shaped how the family lived, where they lived, and how visible they allowed themselves to be. Their primary home in Bucklebury, Berkshire, reflects that mindset. A large country estate set behind gates and land rather than paparazzi lines. This is not London society living. The rural area offers seclusion, long drives, controlled access, few neighbors, and limited spontaneous interactions. The kind of place designed to disappear from the public eye rather than participate in it. That choice matters. Because before marriage, Pippa Middleton lived very differently. Her social groups changed. She attended public events. She had visibility, not royal power, but cultural presence. She was photographed, talked about, referenced. Marriage significantly reduced presence. The Matthews lifestyle is not suitable for public figures. Built for discreet families. Estates are not statements. It is a shield. Their second world sits thousands of miles. The St. Bath's resort in Eden Rock is known for its high net worth isolation. This is not a celebrity vacation spot. A controlled access enclave with private villas. Wealthy disappear mysteriously. This dual life tells you everything. England, structure and routine. Escape and safety are in the Caribbean. Both focus on withdrawal, not engagement. Public image depicts luxury and ease. Reality implies control and confinement. Marriage didn't boost Pippa's profile. One was lost. That was not accidental. This was structural. Same story for cars. No flash. No performance vehicles. Statementless. Practical luxury SUVs designed for countryside terrain and anonymity. Vehicles that blend in rather than stand out. Everything about their movement suggests evasion. Even their daily routine reflects this. School runs done quietly. Reduced social life. Appearances limited to family obligations. No personal interviews. No lifestyle branding. No attempt to leverage royal proximity. That is where the contrast begins to form. Because Pipper Middleton is not an anonymous woman by origin, she became globally recognizable overnight at a royal wedding. After years of public awareness, she entered a world where visibility is a drawback. It appears mature to some. For others it looks like erasure. The Matthews family culture values control over expression, business over narrative, privacy over relevance. Pipper had to adjust both socially and personally to this new society. Marriage did not enhance her individuality. That decision alone fuels speculation. Because it's extreme, not wrong. People question longevity when life requires absolute absence. Excesses, scandals, and breaks are absent. This makes doubts persistent, not explosive. The marriage appears stable due to its quietness. But quiet can also mean constrained. This retreat looks perfect from the outside. From the inside, life has few exits. Pipper Middleton transitioned from being near power to experiencing its silent presence. That shift changed everything. The question people keep asking is not about betrayal or conflict. It is about compatibility over time. Can someone who once lived in the public imagination is fulfilled in a life designed to avoid it completely? No gossip prompted that question. It comes from observing how they live. And once you see the structure of that life, the speculation stops sounding random. It starts sounding inevitable. When we talk about their lifestyle, we need to know it is not just property and money. Is rhythm. Making a decision. It is who leads and who adapts. Hedge fund culture rewards discipline, predictability and emotional restraint. Risk is calculated. Exposure managed. Nothing impulsive. Lasts long. That mindset does not switch off at the front door. Their household runs on planning, school schedules, security considerations, travel that is purposeful rather than spontaneous. Even leisure is curated. Ski trips to familiar locations. Eden Rock time. Where privacy is guaranteed. No experimental phases. Zero reinvention cycles. James finds comfort. For Pipper, it was a transformation. Her life was flexible before marriage. She moved between friend groups. She had separate identities depending on space. She learned to navigate London social circles, charity events, athletic pursuits, and media attention though not in control. Social circles. Overlap with loved ones and friends. People are new. Rare. Friendships in public are rare. The result is stability and repetition. Days meld together. That kind of life rewards whole people. It challenges people who once found energy in movement and variety. Pippa's public silence is often framed as dignity, but silence is also a signal of adaptation. She changed to fit it. Silence preserves control intact. Less fashion-forward statements, more neutral choices, clothes designed to blend rather than broadcast. That imbalance does not mean unhappiness, but it does mean negotiation is limited. Children accelerated this dynamic. Public appearances show this clearly when they attend events. This is seen as emotional distance. In reality, it may simply reflect habit. Fewer outlets, fewer roles, fewer independent decisions that reached the public sphere. The public does not see arguments. They see absence. They ignore betrayal. Another element. Fuel speculation quietly. That history creates a protective instinct for stability and control. Personal risk is minimized wherever possible. That protective instinct can feel like safety. It can also feel like confinement. Pippa's role within this structure appears supportive rather than directive. Not publicly, she leads initiatives. She does not champion causes independently. Her influence, if any, is private. For viewers accustomed to empowered partner stories, this dynamic is puzzling. Not because it is unhealthy, but because it is asymmetrical. People question marriages when one partner's world shrinks dramatically while the other's remains unchanged. James lives much as he did before marriage. Business posture, same. Same privacy standards, environments. Pippa's world transformed almost entirely. That imbalance is subtle. Nothing screams. It whispers. And whispers travel farther in quiet marriages than shouting. By the time people reach this point in observing their lifestyle, the question is no longer about scandal. The topic is sustainability. Discipline, silence, and withdrawal. Can it last? Continue to nourish two people equally over decades? Not that question. Cruel. Human. So even without proof, doubt persists. To circle their marriage. Quiet, persistent. Their lifestyle isn't only about privacy. Maintaining and managing multiple projects requires attention. Their marriage's hidden pressure comes from coordination and shared responsibility. Bucklebury, Berkshire goes beyond country estates. The couple purchased 72 acres for retreat and potential. Over time, they have introduced glamping pods, a cafe, outdoor play areas, and seasonal events. These ventures are well run. All activities, from local festivals to children's programs, need planning, staffing, and supervision. In public, it appears tranquil. Privately, it is a running enterprise demanding cooperation and alignment. Their plans go further. The couple has obtained approval to build a nursery on Bucklebury Farm. Pippa's project reflects his interest in early childhood education and blends purpose with entrepreneurship. A private initiative that engages the community and grows the estate's functional use. The nursery shows Pippa's complexity, adapting to James' world. In the controlled environment, she shapes it, but the family prioritizes. The main Georgian mansion also illustrates their life of deliberate structure. Upgrades, including an outdoor pool and tennis court, require planning, permission, and careful coordination, showing that even private leisure is managed with precision. Cars, estate management, and renovations are all extensions of a lifestyle that favors order over spontaneity. While outsiders see luxury, the reality is a daily system of responsibilities that anchors both family and identity. Pippa is also entrepreneurial. Bucklebury Farm and Gift Shop, seasonal events, and her past work in event planning and authorship show she actively supports family business while remaining aligned with the Matthews privacy ethos. Their Caribbean estate at Eden Rock operates similarly. Luxury but insulated, used for family time and strategic retreats rather than public display. Travel, like the other. Their lifestyle is functional and controlled. What this middle section reveals is subtle but critical. The Matthews household functions efficiently but is not effortless. Every project, every property decision, every event or travel plan requires cooperation, focus, and negotiation. Publicly, the couple appears unified and serene. Privately, their life is a system in which activity and control intersect, producing both stability and tension. Observers see absence and stillness. Some insiders know constant coordination. This part of the story shows why speculation about Pippa and James' marriage exists. It is not about scandal. Observing how their lives are organized, productive, and managed. The Couple projects require alignment, sacrifice, and adaptation. And in that structure, one can see why outsiders quietly wonder whether this carefully planned life can last forever. By the time questions arise, they no longer seek conflict in Pipper Middleton's marriage. They are looking for pressure. And this pressure comes from a calm life that absorbs tension rather than releasing it. Although they avoid public chaos, the Matthews family is not free from anticipation. It is governed by long-term planning, reputation, management, and a deep resistance to disruption. That resistance shapes everything from where they live to how often they are seen. Not Bucklebury. Accidental. It offers distance from London without total isolation. Close enough for access. Far enough to disappear. It allows them to live as a family. Without daily scrutiny, Pipper is far from the social ecosystem she once navigated easily. This matters because proximity shapes identity. London was diverse. Bucklebury is reliable. For James, consistency is grounding. For Pipper, it limits external stimulation. They have days reportedly structured around family logistics, school schedules, planned limited social time, travel. Predictable rhythm. Predictability reduces risk. It also reduces surprise. Public figures often reveal stress through overexposure. If Pippa is stressed, reveal itself absent. And that absence has become noticeable. She appears rarely and usually in relation to her sister. Or formal obligations. There are no independent social circuits, no public friendships that exist outside the family framework. This creates the impression that her identity relational rather than individual. The pressure intensifies when comparisons enter the picture. Her sister lives a life of restriction as well, but with institutional purpose. Catherine's visibility serves a role. Her appearances are symbolic. Her discipline is rewarded with influence and status. Pipper's discipline produces privacy, but no power. That contrast is subtle but corrosive. Two sisters living structured lives for various reasons. One gains relevance through restraint. The other fades into anonymity. No one accuses Pipper of envy. They question fulfillment. The Matthews lifestyle does not encourage external validation. Achievements are internal. Private satisfaction. That philosophy can work when both partners derive meaning from the same sources. One partner's speculation begins. Previous sources of meaning disappear. Another layer of pressure comes from the constant proximity of wealth without spectacle. Money is everywhere. It's not celebrated. Properties are functional, not expressive. Travel is efficient rather than indulgent. Even Eden Rock, despite its luxury, is controlled, not a playground. This eliminates the emotional release of high-net-worth lifestyles. Excess, indulgence, and visible distractions are absent. Rebellion. Everything is contained. Children intensify this further. Parenting within a controlled household leaves little room for personal exploration. Pipper's role as a mother appears central, but motherhood alone cannot substitute identity for everyone. Personal interests are silenced publicly. Telling. She does not champion causes. She doesn't create public projects. She does not maintain a narrative beyond family. So absence becomes fertile ground for speculation. When people cannot see growth, they assume stagnation. Even the way the couple handles attention drives story. When filmed or photographed, their interactions are polite, efficient, and minimal. There is no performative warmth, no visible tension. Either. This emotional neutrality annoys viewers. It provides nothing. Resolution. The lack of social media presence compounds the effect. In a culture where absence is read as secrecy, silence becomes suspicious. The Matthews family's refusal to participate in modern visibility norms places them outside familiar patterns. For James, this is continuity. This is a break for Pippa from her life. Once lived. Another quiet pressure point is permanence. The properties they occupy are not temporary. These are long-term investments. Roots exist. Planted deeply. Leaving such a life would be difficult. Not just emotionally but structurally. Reality creates tension. Choices feel irreversible. Movement costs. Speculation thrives in situations where exit appears difficult. People do not imagine a dramatic split. They imagine slow dissatisfaction. They imagine adaptation hardening into resignation. None of this proves instability. It explains why the question persists. Matthew's lifestyle requires alignment. It does not accommodate drift easily. For a marriage to last inside this structure, both partners must stick to a narrow path. Publicly, they present unity. They live a disciplined life privately. That rigidity can be strength. It can also become pressure. Pipper Middleton's. Because marriage looks chaotic, it's not scrutinized. Under scrutiny, it appears sealed. And sealed lives invite speculation about what happens when personal needs evolve. The doubt is not fueled by what people see. It is fueled by what they no longer do. By the time people reach their conclusions about Pipper Middleton's marriage, they no longer respond to rumors. They are reacting to patterns. Patterns in this couple's life, how little it changes, and how much it demands of both partners. Maintain alignment. Official separation, legal filings, and public statements have not occurred, hinting at collapse. That absence is important because the narrative surrounding this marriage is not built on events. It is built on observation. People see a permanent life. Multiple properties designed for long-term. A countryside estate meant to anchor a family for decades. Access to a private Caribbean enclave that removes exposure rather than inviting indulgence. All signs point to continuity. And continuity can comfort or suffocate depending on where each partner finds meaning. James Matthews shows no change after marriage. He maintains professionalism. His privacy preferences remain dominant. His social circle is small. Controlled. His life trajectory continued forward without visible adjustment. Pipper Middleton's trajectory changed drastically. Her public image changed from peripheral to near invisibility, from social fluidity to domestic constancy, from independent movement to synchronized living. That shift is the core of public doubt. Not because it means failure and sacrifice. People are uneasy with marriages that require one partner to disappear more. Real secret at the center of this story is not infidelity or conflict. An asymmetry. A life that fits one person naturally and demands a complete change. That does not doom a marriage, but it raises questions about long-term fulfillment. Over time, people change. Needs evolve. The Matthews lifestyle leaves little room for reinvention. It is optimized for stability, not exploration. A new public role for Pippa would conflict with the family's privacy. If she were to Expanding her presence would draw attention they've avoided for years. The structure resists change. Speculation persists without evidence because of this. Observers sense a life with limited exits. A marriage where continuity is expected, not bargained. Possible compromise in partnership have happened quietly and completely. Public image reassures. 3 stable marriages. Children, beautiful homes, no scandals, no chaos. Private reality appears more complex. Woman who navigated visibility now lives in a controlled environment. Quiet. A household where peace is maintained through withdrawal rather than expression. Neither version is false. They coexist. The question people ask is not whether the marriage is happy. It is whether it is elastic enough to absorb future change. Royal proximity intensifies this. Being adjacent to the monarchy means constant comparison. Catherine's life, though restricted, offers progression, titles, influence, purpose. Pipper's life offers consistency without expansion. That contrast does not create resentment automatically, but it creates a psychological imbalance that people intuitively sense. Another factor, quietly feeding doubt, is time. The longer a couple remains static, the more observers look for movement. When none appears, they assume something is being held in place deliberately. The Matthews family doesn't discuss speculation. Silence is their strategy. Silence protects them. It also allows narratives to fill the void. People project dissatisfaction where there is quiet. They project tension where there is restraint. None of this confirms an ending. It explains the persistence of the question. People believe this because marriage will not last? Because it appears built on containment rather than expansion. Because one life survived while the other changed. Entire because their privacy structure limits visibility. Personal evolution. In a culture that values movement, a life of deliberate stillness is risky. The truth is more restrained. This marriage may last because it is sealed or struggle because sealed systems resist change. That ambiguity is what fuels endless speculation. Despite tabloid reports, Pipper Middleton's marriage is strong. It is rigid. And rigidity is both a strength and a vulnerability. People are not waiting for collapse. They are waiting for evidence of elasticity. So far, the lifestyle offers none. And that is why despite the absence of proof, doubt continues to follow.